NASCAR Aloe has been making music since 2013, and without a doubt, NASCAR has to have at least a handful of lost media. For example, starting off with one of the most obscure items being his shitty draws. Back in early 2020, a Reddit user claimed that on NASCAR's first ever Florida show on September 13, he was given a pair of dirty underwear that NASCAR pulled out from the mosh pit of that night. The user would also end up getting his shirt signed by Flacco and NASCAR and many other performers. But this is not just any ordinary shirt. This is NASCAR Aloe's first ever piece of merch that he released. And if you try to find any pictures or videos of this shirt, it's damn near impossible to find. I've only managed to track down like 3 images and 1 video of this shirt, but it really is kind of impossible to find. NASCAR also has a handful of deleted music videos and unreleased ones that are kind of simple to find. One of the first videos that I want to talk about that was recently discovered, or I recently discovered, was the music video for Heaven Part 2. I vividly remember how this video was considered lost media for a good couple of years in early 2020, until a helpful redditor by the name of NASCAR Aloe Archives decided to post a Google Drive link full of unseen and unreleased cover arts and videos, one of these being the Heaven Part 2 music video, where we can see NASCAR crying in the video while having a lot of distorted effects over him. It's unknown why the original video was taken down, but if I had to guess, NASCAR probably didn't like the whole crying thing in the video, since there's parts where he's vividly distressed. Nonetheless, I'm glad we finally found a full version of this music video, because the only way I found out that this music video even existed was because of the lyric video. That's up on YouTube, and it has the video in the background, but it's only as a loop and not the full entire video. Luckily though, 4 years later, we ended up getting an official high quality music video for Heaven Part 2, which if you ask me, it fits perfectly.
Until they find me on the floor, I felt your love and I can't help but want some more.
I don't know how to play guitar video. This short little visualizer of NASCAR, his most emotional song, I Don't Know How to Play Guitar, actually used to have a cool retro style type of visualizer, where we see a little character playing the guitar under a tree, trying to match the cute little vibe of the song. But for some reason, the upload to this song on YouTube is completely gone, and I cannot find it for shit. But thanks again to NASCAR Aloe Archives on Reddit for re-uploading this video. The Mickey music video. NASCAR Aloe's song Mickey, released June 25th, 2018, was supposed to have a music video, but it sadly got scrapped or cancelled after the footage had gotten corrupted or it wasn't properly stored. Judging by NASCAR having to record half the footage through his phone, if I had to guess, this video probably only ever got a teaser, not an official music release. I even tried finding this footage in any old music videos, but I really couldn't find anything related to the video that I'm seeing right now on the screen. But it's really interesting to see that a young Aloe was out here following his dreams. The Watch Me music video. This music video is for a song by the name of Watch Me. This particular song has a very jumpy and upbeat sound, which is something very different from what NASCAR typically makes. You can tell that this song was made in his earlier years of high school because of his voice, his deliverance, and he looks really young in the music video. While we only have a low quality version of this song available, there's still 1 minute and 40 seconds missing from this song. And some fans have been searching and trying to remake or even stitch together a full version, but that sadly wasn't even successful. If I had to guess why it got taken down, it probably didn't get the attention that NASCAR wanted or he expected, because this song sounded somewhat like a party anthem, which were really popular back then. C'est la vie. This here clip you're seeing right now is a supposed teaser clip that NASCAR posted himself on all socials, teasing a new song with the clip of a C'est la vie modeling show with the song in the background. The teaser must have been up for a very short amount of time, since nobody was able to fully get the song or the full video. This 20-second video is probably one of the most obscure things we have from this iceberg, but judging off the visuals, you can tell that NASCAR was a serious Cardi fan, until y'all know what happened. What you need. This is a long lost song with only very little info to go off of. Best we have is that this song was released during Halloween somewhere in 2017, and it was his first time using his quote unquote witch flow, which if you ask me, it probably sounds like the Freddy Krueger freestyle or when he uses his raspy deep. We also have a Genius page with a couple of lyrics on it, but we're not sure if these are confirmed lyrics. We also have a supposed cover, but it's just a Resident Evil 4 cover. The Lost Song cover arts. Thanks to NASCAR Aloe's archive page on Reddit for supplying us with a Google Drive full of NASCAR content, including a couple of lost song cover arts ranging from early 2016 and 2017. There's a lot of interesting cover arts on here, and some of my favorites being Motion Sickness, produced by GF Retro. If you're an X fan, you probably heard his name countless of times. Hello Kitty Bag Full of Money, which is just a cute MacBook selfie of Kobe, and Officially Fucking Lost My Shit, which if you ask me, it has to be his first hardcore song or his first ever trap metal song. The link to this Google Drive will be down below in the description, because I want everybody to go out to see the cool stuff that NASCAR has made and that probably hasn't been released yet. it or nobody even knows exists. I mean, NASCAR in his own words has said that he's sitting on over 700 songs in the vault. My guy is sitting on top of albums and albums, and he has yet to give us even 10% of what he has inside that discography. But we can't put NASCAR at fault here, because a big part of NASCAR not being able to release half of what he has made is because of his label or poor management. And since NASCAR has been in Death Proof, which has proven to us that they sometimes have scammed their fans, it kind of held them back from releasing a lot of good stuff. And this leads us into our last topic, the Death Proof magazine. It was announced by Death Proof that a 4th issue of a Death Proof magazine was going to be coming out, showcasing all the different artists and maybe even some unseen or unreleased pictures of NASCAR, Aloe Shrugs, and many other artists. But sadly, it has been at least 3 years since these magazines were supposed to be shipped out, but sadly nobody even received their orders from this drop. And it's really sad how many unfulfilled orders and false promises have been coming from Miyagi, because Death Proof at this point is just him. I would really consider these Death Proof magazines lost media at this point, unless someone can show us proof that they actually received their orders, because judging off their past actions, Death Proof has always been very scamish to their fans. Yes, they do fulfill orders, and yes, they do sometimes give their fans more than what they promised or even bought for, but Death Proof from Miyagi has seriously ruined their reputation. The No Jumper video. When I was doing a deep dive in my research, I managed to find a very interesting picture of what looked like NASCAR in a room entering another room that says No Jumper. Now, for the longest time I've known NASCAR, I have never seen him on the No Jumper channel more than once, which is just the Sirens music video. I could have sworn though that NASCAR had at least one interview with No Jumper, but I couldn't find any screenshots related to this topic, and I decided to do my own research. Now, what I did find was a picture of NASCAR entering this said room. Now, honestly, don't expect Adam22 to release this interview if one was done anytime soon, because I mean, the hairstyle that NASCAR had in the time was very different from what he has now. And I also found this picture from a NASCAR archive page that posted in August 4, 2022. So yeah, it has been almost 3 years since this was teased, and we have yet to see anything. So I really wouldn't get my hopes up, considering that No Jumper is a whole different channel from what it was back then. Another piece of lost media I want to talk about is a more personal thing. March 7, 2025, I was invited to the Noise and Dagger show. This was an underground event where a bunch of artists from all around the world came to perform. Atlanta artists like Vibes, Savage John, Aloe Shrugs, Dobby, which is a female rapper from Detroit, Helly, and many more. And while NASCAR wasn't a performer that night, he was an attendee, and I managed to get a lot of footage with him. I even had a small little interview besides the video that I uploaded on my YouTube channel. But I sadly lost all that footage after I sent the tapes out to a friend to get them recovered. Now, the reason that I did this was because my VHS camera, being a Sony TRV-58, ended up dying in the middle of the show, and I still had a little bit of footage left into the little VHS thingy. So I asked my friend if I could use his camera, and not knowing that it was a more newer model, so my camera couldn't exactly read the footage that his camera got. I was hella disappointed when I seen this blue screen, because I just knew it was over. See, my camera's a tape only camcorder, while my buddy here had a tape and a digital camcorder. I noticed this when I had to change the tapes, and I seen that his had a SD card slot while mine's didn't. So I just simply thought I could just send him the tapes, and I asked him if I could still get him back, and he just never responded to that topic again. So I guess it's cool. I'm just sad that I lost a mini interview with NASCAR and the first half of the Noise and Dagger show. If I remember correctly, I got Aloe Shrugs set and 3 other performers. But yeah, we could have possibly had a NASCAR Aloe interview, but sadly I haven't gotten my tapes back, and I don't know if I ever will. Heaven Part 3 OG. On February 3rd, 2020, a video was uploaded to YouTube of a live show that NASCAR had in Toronto, where he would preview an unreleased song, which ended up being Heaven Part 3, a continuation song of the Heaven series that NASCAR has had since 2019. Even though NASCAR kept teasing the song in a couple of shows, it took him almost 2 years to release the third part of Heaven, alongside with a music video, but we got bamboozled. It wasn't even the original song that he was teasing at the shows. It ended up being this country type of song with a more cleaner and more mellow, depressing sound. And plenty of fans were not happy with this decision. I ain't gonna lie, I was one of them. But after a couple of listens, the song actually didn't sound that bad. NASCAR would eventually mention on his Twitter that he had to make another version of Heaven 3 because he didn't like the first one. He says in his own tweet, "I made a new version of Heaven 3 because the first one was ass." And ever since then, we have yet to get an official release. But a year later, it ended up getting leaked.